After winning their independence from Mexico, the Texans petitioned for admittance to the United States, but to no avail. Northern congressmen had no intention of admitting yet another slave state into the Union. Believing that continued expansion was vital to the American South, President John Tyler, a Virginian who owned slaves, convinced Congress to annex Texas in March of 1845. Mexico quickly broke diplomatic ties to the United States, and both sides prepared for war. President Tyler's successor, James K. Polk of Tennessee, had run for president in 1844 on a promise of 54-40 or fight, which would have included Western Canada all the way up to the border of Alaska. Meanwhile, out in the Pacific Northwest, the United States and Great Britain were again fighting over borders to lands they had jointly administered for decades. Both lay claim to the resource-rich Oregon Territory. Anticipating war with Mexico, Polk accepted the British offer to divide Oregon at the 49th parallel. Mexico had never recognized the independence of Texas and became furious when the United States annexed the region. When President Polk offered $30 million for California and New Mexico, the Mexican government refused. In January 1846, Polk ordered General Zachary Taylor to cross the Nueces River and set up posts along the Rio Grande. Polk knew that Mexico claimed this territory and that his actions might lead to war. In April 1846, Mexican troops crossed the Rio Grande and briefly fought with American forces. President Polk reported to Congress that Mexico had shed American blood on American soil. At his urging, Congress declared war on Mexico on May 13, 1846. It took only 6 months to conquer New Mexico and California. Stephen Watts Kearny's Army of the West marched from Kansas to Santa Fe and then on to Southern California. Meanwhile, Zachary Taylor pushed across the Rio Grande, captured the Mexican stronghold at Monterrey, and crushed Santa Ana at the Battle of Buena Vista in northern Mexico. Unable to force the Mexicans to surrender, Polk ordered the conquest of the Mexican capital of Mexico City. Commodore Perry took Veracruz by sea, and Winfield Scott stormed the castle at Chapultepec outside Mexico City, where Mexican cadets as young as 13 and 14 fought and died in defense of the Mexican capital. The war against Mexico divided Americans deeply. Many Northerners opposed the war on the grounds that it was a pro-slavery conspiracy. Anti-slavery writer James Russell Lowell accused the president of wanting bigger pens to cram with slaves. And a first-term congressman from Illinois by the name of Abraham Lincoln accused President Polk of starting an unnecessary and unconstitutional war against Mexico. Meanwhile, expansionists called Continental Democrats were encouraging the president to take all of Mexico. But support for annexing all of Mexico met stiff resistance. Many Americans did not want the United States to incorporate a Catholic nation of what they called mixed-race people. By the terms of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, the United States took about 1/3 of Mexico's territory, including all of modern California, Nevada, and Utah, most of New Mexico and Arizona, and a large portion of Colorado, 602 million acres in all. 5 years later, Congress purchased the rest of the current-day continental United States from Mexico in the $10 million Gadsden Purchase.